Hello everyone, back again with another video from my gaming channel. Today I have some big news for the gaming community and I will be covering a few different topics. Let's start off with the first topic, which would be Epic Games has reached a settlement with a miner who was accused of creating and selling cheats for Fortnite. The terms of the settlement are unknown. So, in its complaint against the miner known as CBV, Epic alleged the miner had infringed copyright by using marketing, selling, and trafficking in cheat software for Fortnite, basically making the game unfair for normal people playing it who don't normal people playing it fairly, So, defendant's cheat software injects unauthorized computer code into Epic's copyright-protected Fortnite code to allow its users to cheat at Fortnite. The original complaint alleged. The case was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of North Carolina, Western Division. So, lawsuit accuses Fortnite maker of designing game to be addictive. That's one of the big news topics that I have today. And another big news topic, Call of Duty Mobile's launch tops Fortnite and PUBG with 100 million downloads. So that's pretty big for Call of Duty Mobile, which I also have downloaded and played it, and I like it. See, I like playing, for a mobile game it is fun. Pretty easy, honestly, but defendants cheating and inducing and enabling of others to cheat ruins the game playing experience, Epic alleged. So that same kid, CBV, used a YouTube channel to post videos of him using the hacks to cheat at Fortnite, Epic said in the complaint. So the kid basically gave himself away on YouTube. He posted these videos to demonstrate, advertise, and market the hacks he sells, the game studio alleged. CBV said in a YouTube video that he's 14 years old. So yeah, all of that he went through, he pretty much screwed himself by giving himself away on YouTube. So that's not very smart. But on the other hand, people like that is what we want to avoid in the gaming community, because of course you want all the games to be a fair playing experience for everybody. Epic said in an emailed statement that it pursues all available options to make sure our games are fun, fair, and competitive for players. When cheaters use aimbots or other cheat technologies to gain an unfair advantage, they ruin games for people who are playing fairly, the spokesperson added. So, just like I just said, exactly. CBV reached the settlement agreement with his mother, who couldn't be reached for comment. So no comment on that one. So I have another topic today. A small group of Activision Blizzard employees walked out of work Tuesday afternoon to protest the company's actions against a gamer who expressed support for pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong during an official live stream. So a big walkout by the employees of Blizzard. The game publisher online multiplayer hits like World of Warcraft, Overwatch, everybody knows that. Hong-based professional Hearthstone player Chung Wei from the game's lucrative Pro League for a year on Tuesday. Chung, who uses the handle Blitzchung, prompted the ban after saying, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our times." During an interview about his tournament wins, Blizzard's actions forced him to forfeit 10 grand in prize money he had already won. So that sucks. That's a good chunk of change right there. The action Blizzard took against the player was pretty appalling but not surprising, a long-term Blizzard employee told the Daily Beast. Blizzard makes a lot of money in China, but now the company is in this awkward position where we can't abide by our values. These are quotes. I'm disappointed, another current Blizzard employee said. We want people all over the world to play our games, but no action like this could be made with political neutrality. The employee spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of professional consequences. Protesting Blizzard employees from multiple departments gathered at an iconic statue of an orc warrior charging into battle in the center of the company's main campus in Irvine, California, starting around 10 a.m. Pacific time. The demonstration's numbers fluctuated throughout the day, the two employees said, ranging from a dozen to 30, and the protesters departed sometime in the late afternoon. The protesters would have been visible to executive offices which overlooked the main plaza, the two employees had said. The company did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So the Chinese tech giant Tencent owns a 5% stake in Blizzard, and the gaming company earned 12% of its revenue from the Asia Pacific region last quarter, according to its earnings report. GTA 6 release date news begins with a leak that could be music to the ears of PlayStation and Xbox fans looking forward to a new Grand Theft Auto game. So this is huge news because Grand Theft Auto is probably one of the highest paid games. As the anticipation about GTA 6 has grown in 2019, the rumor mill has gone into overdrive with big claims made about the unannounced title. It's been claimed that GTA 6 will be out in 2020 and will be a timed PS5 exclusive and be set in Vice City, which would be pretty cool to come back to Miami with GTA. That'd be awesome. And as fans wait for official word from Rockstar Games about GTA 6, they may have been delivered a release date boost. The rumor mill had previously claimed that Rockstar Games had another game planned before launching GTA 6. It had been claimed that Bully 2 and not GTA 6 was the next title on the agenda for Rockstar Games. If that was the case, then who knows when GTA 6 may launch, with that rumored 2020 release date looking unlikely. But it has now been claimed that Bully 2 has in fact been scrapped by Rockstar Games. As reported in a post by Video Games Chronicle, a Bully sequel was allegedly in the works as far back as 2008 when the script was written. It's claimed that in the early 2010s development on Bully 2 began with Rockstar New England spending up to 18 months working on the title. However, sources claim that Bully 2 never built momentum and work on the project eventually fizzled out. Speaking to VGC, the sources said, "It existed, it was playable, it was just a shame it never got off the ground." The insider claimed the teams working on Bully 2 were then moved on to other projects. It had been thought that Bully 2 could have been the next game that Rockstar was releasing. But if development on the title has been scrapped, then it could mean the GTA 6 is the next title that Rockstar are set to release. However, before GTA fans get too excited and Bully aficionados get distraught, remember it's best to take all rumors with a pinch of salt.
Tactical reinforcement available.
Another big news for Google Stadia. Google says Stadia will be faster and more responsive than local hardware. So Stadia is like a streaming service where you can play Xbox games from other devices like a phone or a tablet. I believe. In a new interview, Google's top executive in charge of engineering says that games played on Stadia could run faster and be more responsive than they do on local hardware. Game consoles like the Xbox One and PS4 or a gaming PC. While this sounds like a little outlandish, Google plans on employing a number of techniques to help combat latency caused by connection speeds. Ultimately, we think in a year or two we'll have games that are running faster and feel more responsive in the cloud than they do locally, said Stadia's VP of Engineering, Madge Bakar, regardless of how powerful the local machine is. It's also important to note that Bakar isn't saying that Stadia will be better out of the box. He's just noting that the service will likely get to that point in the future, after Google's team has some time to work through any issues. Now, Stadia versus Xbox One and PS4. During an interview with Bakar and Edge Magazine's Alex Wiltshire, Bakar explained some of the technology Stadia uses that help overcome issues introduced by latency. Among these technologies are negative latency, the term Google uses to describe its large stream buffer, boosting frame rates on the server side to compensate for slowdown, and an even algorithm that will predict which buttons you're likely to press next, all to make up for any latency introduced by your connection. When we get a chance to play with Stadia at this year's E3, we felt that it was a mostly latency-free experience, even on twitchy, quick-response games like Doom Eternal. That said, the demo occurred in the heart of Los Angeles, a major U.S. metropolis, and not in a rural area that's likely to be further from Google's data centers and rely on lower-speed internet connections. Just how well Stadia will fare in those circumstances remains to be seen, but we will find out when the service goes live in November. Last but not least, we have the first confirmed PS5 game that will be from remake specialist Bluepoint. Bluepoint is famous for its remakes and remasters, a reputation earned through its overhaul of Shadow of the Colossus for PS4, as well as its work on titles like Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, Gravity Rush, and Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. We now know that the studio has been working on something for a while now, but today's news confirmed that something will be for the PS5, and that will be huge. Wired spoke with Marco Thrush, the president of Bluepoint Games, as part of its uncovering of new PS5 titles. While we have known that GT Sport developer Polyphony Digital and Astrobot Rescue Mission developer SIE Japan Studio has been creating demos to showcase the power and potential of the PlayStation 5. This is the first time Sony has confirmed that a new PlayStation 5 game is in the works. Thrush confirmed that the studio has its sights set on 2020, explaining, "We are working on a big one right now. I'll let you figure out the rest." This comment sent the internet into a frenzy of speculation, with the leading consensus being that Bluepoint will be working on a long-rumored remake of Demon's Souls. Sony owns the game's IP, after all, making it technically separate from the other games in the Dark Souls series. Demon's Souls game director Hidetaka Miyazaki has said he'd enjoy a remaster of the game where it done right by another studio, and who better than Bluepoint. But it's not definite. Bluepoint has also worked with Konami, EA, and Microsoft, and its April 2019 GDC presentation referred to its next project as a re-envisioning that goes beyond its admittedly impressive work on bringing Shadow of the Colossus from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 4. So we can't help but wonder, what game could Bluepoint be remastering for the PlayStation 5? What games are ripe for the remastering that would benefit from Bluepoint's keen eye and ability to pull a game into a new generation? The studio doesn't just port games, they improve upon and remake existing structures, molding a great game of yesteryear into a great game of today. That's all I have for this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did creating it. Please leave comments of whatever you want me to talk about in my next videos, as well as what games you would like me to play. I will be considering any and all requests. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video.